looking like a baddie. I show up and make them stop. Wanna know my name so badly, cause I run this whole block. Tip my hair, move my head, show the world I'm royalty. When I walk by, they be taking bows, cause they know I'm a queen, yeah. Move it, move it, groove it, groove it. They wanna know just how I do it when I do it, do it. I got that magic touch, it's a rush, pulsing through my veins when I show up everybody.
Hola mi gente, what's up my peeps? Thank you once again for joining me tonight. It's your girl Linda Lynn and Could Be You TV. I hope everybody is doing good tonight. Usually I would be a little bit more peppy and a little bit more excited, but unfortunately I am heartbroken and I don't even know where my thoughts are right now. By now everyone has seen the news on the tragic loss we had of one of our police officers, Jonathan Diller. Our condolences to his family, his friends, everybody who knew him. It was a senseless act. It was tragic. It should not have happened. I just don't understand why these perps feel they can do what they do, like without any consequences, without any regards to life, just over a routine traffic stop. Are you freaking kidding me? We lost not only an amazing police officer, he was a husband, a father, and it's sad because it really hits home. I come from a family of police officers, including my husband, who is a retired NYPD, and my son as well will be going into the police academy, and I have a lot of friends and family who are in the law enforcement. So my heart is heavy, and I can't even fathom what they must be going through right now. So I just wanted to just say that. But aside from that, let's continue to our birthday shout-outs. And happy birthday, feliz cumpleaños to all my peeps. And just in case you're all wondering, how did I know it was your birthday? I'm a psychic. No, not really. But if we're friends on Facebook, the notification when you get that it's your birthday coming or it's here, that's how I know. And I put this together to give you a nice shout out. But in case we are not friends, become my friend. And if you are not, you can always send a shout out at couldbeyoutv@gmail.com, and I'll be more than happy to give a shout out, happy birthday, anniversary, or just a hello. I can't wait for my guest tonight. It's going to be amazing. It's going to be fascinating. But before we get to them, I just want to let everybody know, thank you so much. I adore you guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. But if everybody can share the video, sharing is caring. We are live on YouTube. We are live on Facebook. We are live on X, formerly known as Twitter. We are live on Twitch. And especially on Saturday mornings, 10 a.m., my people. We are on Optimum. Yes, channel 115. Woo! Can I get an applause for that? It's always a delayed applause. There we go. I think that's something we should applaud, Bobby. But anyway, what we're going to do, we're going to take a quick commercial break. Oh, but wait, before we do that, guys, I have something special to show you. I just want to do a quick recap of what I did this weekend. Nothing major, but of course I have to take the babies out, and by the babies, you know who I mean. So, Bobby, we have that little video. How cute was that? That was all the parades that St. Patrick's parades that was happening this weekend and the past weekend. How I like to take my girls. Don't you dare call them dogs. They're not my dogs. They're my babies. I birthed them. Okay. So that was the recap of my weekend. But you know what? With no further ado, we're gonna take a quick commercial break because when we come back, I have a special guest in the house. So we'll see you back in a few minutes.
You can tell that the reason why she took this interview to begin with was because they were not going to ask her the questions that we all were tuning in to hear.
Out,
yeah,
right.
Exactly. Like, we not tuning in to find out how they became best friends. We're not tuning in to hear that she didn't want to talk about the Tory, how intimate they were, how they met. She didn't want to talk about how she found out that Megan was
She didn't want to talk about nothing.
She didn't want to talk about who shot Megan. She didn't even admit that Megan got shot, but she empathized and felt bad for Tory.
That's the
And with no further ado, can we have a drum roll now? We have Jesse and Tiana with the Petty Headquarters podcast. Welcome. Can we have applause now? You did? I didn't even hear it. Oh my God. All righty, fine.
We hear it.
Yes. Oh my God, I'm so excited. I am so excited to have you here on the show. I've been seeing everything you guys are doing, and I want to hear all about it because it's a little new to me. Because Jessie, we've had you on the show before.
Yes.
And I love what you're doing. I mean, it's a big kind of a step from what you were doing back then.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely very different.
This is definitely amazing. So I want to know how did this come about?
Well, first of all, Linda, thank you for having us.
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
appreciate
I'm so excited.
Last time you seen me, I was doing my own thing on YouTube.
Yes.
Doing like food challenges and all types of like stuff. But
And your animal or the reptiles you had, right?
Yup.
Do you still have them?
I do.
Okay.
I do. But I did take a couple years off the internet.
Okay.
Because there was like this thing where, I was growing up and so was my audience.
Okay.
And then, in that time, it was like 5 years, right? It must have been like 5 years, but we met and you know, for a while, right? We would like have this thing between us, our relationship was, which was called the HeadQuarters, and that's where we talk shit.
Amongst each other, or
just in general. Like, you know, we break down, we you know, see things, and we're just like, we're gonna take it to the HeadQuarters.
Okay.
So then, fast forward, what was it, last year? You wanna take it from here?
So basically, we would just talk shit about a lot of stuff, a lot of the shows that we watch, or the
But
drama
was
that's
it all these
happening.
things between just you
Between
two?
us.
Was it a group of people?
It was just
or
between us.
Just
so
us.
it was a thing where we would have our own little headquarters. So it became our thing where we said, we're going to take it to the HeadQuarters. So then at some point I was like, oh, okay, like, you know, I'm already doing my own thing with like certain content when it comes to like certain shows that I watch, as well as pop culture. So I was like, why don't we start a podcast together, and we can call it the Petty HeadQuarters.
And that's how
it came about. Yep.
So I'm just curious. So where did the petty come in? Like where
Okay,
audience?
where did that name come from?
So the Petty came from, so with my YouTube channel, what I do is, this is going to sound crazy, but this is how I gained my audience for this content.
Okay.
Do you know of the game The Sims 4, or just The Sims?
Yeah, I've heard of it, of course, yeah.
So for those that don't know, The Sims is, you know, simulation game, all that stuff. You get it on PC. So what I started doing in the game is I started recreating like popular scenes and like just, you know, interactions on certain like reality TV shows, but in Sims version. So people were like, oh, this is so funny. And, you know, my YouTube channel for that was called Petty Sim Productions. So that's where the name The Petty HeadQuarters came about.
Yeah, because she's like had gained like 43,000 followers on TikTok.
Yeah.
She has her own fan base where like they like reality TV,
Right.
ratchet TV, all that type of stuff.
You know,
So it kind of just fit into place.
why is it that society is so obsessed with reality and knowing, you know, people's business?
Yeah, it's like a
And
thing.
like why? Like, and you really think about it, like as if we didn't have enough shows or movies that people can
Right.
go. You
Right,
know,
right.
it has to be the reality.
I was just gonna
you know,
say.
like it whether it's good or bad. You know, my thing is, I mean, don't get me wrong. I think everybody's curious about somebody else's life,
Right,
and how they live life. And you know, and I don't know if you remember not too long ago where they used to have like the webcams.
Yeah.
You know, when they have webcams.
Yeah,
you know, I don't know
yeah.
if they still have them. You know, but I'm sure, you know, and people would just tune in, and people would just
Yeah, like
lounging
Twitch
in their
streamers.
couch, and
Yeah.
and people were fascinated just watching them do whatever is, you know.
Yep.
But I feel like now it's like it's turned, like, let's say I'm not one, I cannot watch a show like The Baddies or something.
Yo.
I cannot. I cannot.
That's our audience right
That's
there.
our audience.
But I cannot because
It's too much.
It's toxic. It's negative.
It's very
I
toxic.
think, yeah, well,
It
also, I mean, I am older than you guys.
Yeah.
So, you know, the way that I see it, it's like, you're not supposed to behave that way. You know,
Right.
you're young
Yeah,
ladies,
yeah,
you know.
yeah, it's
I mean,
true.
show some kind of class, you know, or show, you know, and it gets me mad because it's like, and they're not even that young either. Not
No,
all of them are that
they're
young.
I was gonna say there's
Right.
some that are like your age.
Yeah,
That's
no,
what I'm
that's-
saying.
but
There are some that are your age that are auditioning for
But
the
that's
show
what
as
I'm
well.
saying. So now some of them are even just doing it for the clout, just
Yeah.
to try and get in.
Yeah.
And and the way I just see it, the way it's like you're doing, you know, this whole personification of a person that you're really not, just for the show. And to me, it's like you're bringing in a little bit of negative attention, you know,
Yeah.
because now the
For sure.
newer generation or the young kids are watching this and they're like, oh,
Definitely
that's the
not
way that you have to act.
Good role models.
No, yeah, it's
Definitely
not.
not good role models.
for me.
Definitely not.
They're not good role models for me either.
But to play devil's advocate here, right? Wouldn't you say that like it does allow opportunity for people who do actually behave that way to kind of gain like some type of success that you wouldn't have before?
Right, but then there's
You're
going to get
there's
success
something
out of
for everybody.
negativity.
I mean,
Right?
well,
Yeah, I mean,
think
Like,
about.
I know what
but
they-
it exists, right?
Right.
It's just like some people. Okay, no, I get it because
So then,
it's
how
like,
do you feel about Bad Girls Club on Oxygen? Would you say it's the same thing?
yeah, I think it's the same thing.
Because I feel like a lot of people don't talk about Bad Girls Club the same way as they talk about baddies.
I just think it's become worse.
It has.
You know, you know what I'm saying?
What they allow to be seen is worse.
But they encourage it because that's what you're watching it for.
Right.
You know, you're not going to watch the show baddies and just want them to behave and,
true.
and act
True.
normal and
That's
let's just,
very true.
behave and act like this is what they want you to do, you know. But that's certain I want to watch. But I like reality show, like, I don't know, my daughter Tiana as well. That's why I love that name. She put me onto this new show called
Love is Blind.
Oh.
How did you? You're a psychic. You're a psychic.
Yeah.
Love is Blind.
That's like the top show right now.
Yeah, and at first I was like, please, I don't want to watch. Like, I'm not here trying. And I'm like, oh my god, what?
You're
happened?
hooked.
What?
Yeah,
And I was
yeah,
like, what the? And I'm like, oh, okay, it was not. It was more interesting. It was more normal, more normalized.
For sure.
So this fascination with reality is really something.
It's funny because what we do, I feel like what separates us, we're not like your T channels, we're not like that, where we kind of deep dive in and kind of get more of the perspective of like a person and why they act, also like go into their past and their environment that they grew up in and kind of understand, like, it's easy to judge people, but like look at a lot of these girls are a product of their environment, guys and girls.
Mm-hmm.
And
absolutely.
It's, I think sometimes, easy to just say, oh, you're just contributing to the negativity. But when you really look at a person, you can kind of like maybe empathize, or, at the end of the day, it's not always empathizing with them, but just understanding.
Understanding too, like, these are not only one, real people, but like two, like, this is really how some of these people grew up.
Or survived. Like, they developed this like notion of how to survive in life. Like, they come from nothing, so they're willing to do whatever for money because they come from nothing.
It's true.
So,
it's true.
I think this is going to be for another show, because this is totally. But my thing with that is, once again, is because I'm a product of that environment as well.
Mm-hmm. And you grew out of that.
I'm from East New York, right in the center of back in the day when I grew up with the crack house next to me and a prostitution house here. I grew up on a single mom, living on coupons, and on the cheese line, and I did all that. I'm not saying for everyone, because everybody has a different path, but when they kind of like, I hear the stories like that, well, I'm like this because of what, and it's hard for me to relate on the second. I'm like, but I was there too. I didn't. But like I said, that was another story.
Right.
But anyway, definitely. But I was watching some of the clips of your show, and I find it so fascinating the way both of you kind of like interact, and you really get into character. Like, you really, like, you're part of whatever you're talking about. And whatever show is that you're talking about, I feel like, it's like, well, this happened because it's like you were acting out exactly what, and I'm like, it's like that's the chemistry that you guys have, and that's something great, because you said you were in a relationship, right?
Yes.
It's very hard to bring that personal and and show that kind of also, to the world,
Right.
So
1,000%. You hit it on the nail, because it's like we are letting you into a little bit of our relationship, but it's really how we bounce off each other. People, and it's funny because a lot of the people who listen to the show, they say the same thing.
Yeah.
They love the way we bounce off of each other, and that's really our relationship. There's no acting in that. It's really just...
Right. Well, that's definitely that.
Yeah, I feel like this is how we have conversations on the daily. Like, when we talk on the phone, which is why, going back to how we got the name, we would always say we got to take it to the headquarters. Yeah. If there's something like trending,
don't talk about it right now.
Right, we'll take it to the headquarters.
Right.
Or if there's something like trending, even with like the Diddy situation going on right now, like, we've had our conversations. We've had our conversations already about that. So it's like, we already talk like this in real life. So it's like, and you see the petty headquarters, it's like, this is really us in real life. This is not an act. This is not a gimmick. Like, this is us.
So that's kind of like I would say, that's like a form of communication. That it's a special way that you guys communicate. I mean,
It is.
How if you do this, even without the cameras, you're not doing it for anybody else. You're doing it behind closed doors. Yeah. I mean, that's a special touch to how people would communicate. You know, everybody communicates differently.
Right.
Obviously,
right.
this is yours. Like, no, we're not arguing about this here. Let's take it to the headquarters.
Yeah,
Then they brought the kitchen table. Let's go. You know,
it's true. We were just at dinner and we're like, should I save this for the headquarters, like for the podcast? Because it's like sometimes you want to save that initial reaction. You want to save
the energy, like, and the reaction. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, it's absolutely, so and I love it. You know, but also I remember I kind of like missing also the comedy that you used to put in with your videos that you used to put in. And
yes. You know what's interesting about that is that like I had a hard time because I was a character, right? And I played that character, and it became hard to be that character the older I got, because I was catering to a young audience. Right. I grew up, and so did my sense of humor. So when I came onto this podcast, at first I was very reserved. Wasn't I very reserved?
Yes.
I was scared to really show who I was, because I'm not used to showing the internet who I am. I'm only used to Jessie Strange.
But you were definitely a natural, because there's nothing about being shy or being like, you were totally like, when you guys get together talking about whatever, you've had your podcast for like years already.
Oh, that's what people say, which is crazy. Like some people that are newcomers would come and comment on the channel and say, oh, I thought this was like a big and up and running podcast already. I'm surprised it doesn't have like more views or more subscribers, like, you know? So that's cool that you say that.
Yeah,
I feel like a lot of people say that.
Absolutely, yeah. And I believe you, kudos to you for, you do the work and the editing and all that.
Yeah.
It's not your typical, you know, this is done at home?
Yes.
Yeah. It, you know, very professional, so it's amazing. But I have something here that I want to see if you remember. Bobby, do we have the little me? see if Jessie remembers.
Oh my God, I'm nervous. What are we seeing here? Oh, I love this. You changed my life with this photo shoot, okay? Look at that. Fire.
This was all courtesy of you. This was we went into what the we had this imagination.
Alien,
we were going. This is like I was an alien, just came off of a
landed,
ship.
Right?
The way I have my hair and the way I did, we just did the craziest stuff. Do you remember that?
Of course I remember. I talk about it to this day.
Yeah, I have, you know, and unfortunately, like we spoke before, when I had my other page that was so abruptly taken away from me. So I had a lot of those, you know, so I had to like dig in, like, where are these pictures? And those are the only ones I kind of found.
I love that.
Yeah, so it's fascinating. So do you do any more of the photography or anything like that?
I don't. If I do photography, it's for my own channel, and I have gotten people to hit me up about it. But honestly, you know, I'm an electrician now, so that's kind of where my main focus. Anybody who needs any type of editing, I send to her. She's the editor. Like, I love as a career, like, you know, that's her thing. So
absolutely,
I give her the opportunity.
You do that. Is it something you do for people? Do you have your own business when you do that, or?
Yeah, I definitely do freelance on the side. Okay. Like I was saying before, like I've done a lot of freelance work for a lot of people, but one of the people in particular is Amanda Seales. She was on HBO's Insecure.
Okay.
So I was doing editing for her, and you know, I'm still actually doing that. It's like on and off basis. Like I said, it's freelance. So that's one of the things that I'm doing right now. You know, video editing has its advantages and its disadvantages.
No, but it goes, you know, hand in hand with what you're doing right now.
Yeah, that's the best part.
Like, that's the best part.
Yeah. So where do we plan to take Petty Headquarters from here? Like, what's going on? Like,
we're gonna go up.
Yeah, we want to get picked up. Hopefully.
Yeah, hopefully.
We want to get picked up by a network. You know, we've been out, you know, promoting our stuff. Been trying to network with the industry.
Yeah.
It's a niche. It's a very specific niche.
Very
but
small niche.
Yeah, but we've, you know, we found our way of marketing online, you know, a couple of our videos.
Which is probably one of the hardest things to do, like right now.
Yeah.
I mean, they give you, it's like I feel they give you all these platforms, right? Like, oh, you know, you have your TikTok and you have your Snaps, or you have your Instagram and you have this and you have YouTube and but yet they don't like really let you utilize it. Like they hold you back. It's like, you know, when I talk about it with Bobby in the studio too, you know, I mean, I have X amounts of, you know, followers and, you know, and then when the videos of the shows, like, where are the people watching the shows with YouTube?
Yeah.
Where is it? You know, on Instagram, you know, I had like, why are they holding us back if why give us the platforms if you're holding us back?
It's interesting that you say that, because I feel like with my TikTok, like, she said, I have like 43,000 followers on TikTok. But lately TikTok has been like weird, where it feels like they're shadow banning certain posts. So like, you could have gotten like 600K views on one post, but now it's looking like views are getting slower, where you're barely even able to reach 1,000. But I feel like with the social media platforms, it fluctuates.
Because they're doing that on purpose?
I think they are doing it on purpose, especially when you start getting paid. So, and I feel like with Instagram, it fluctuates, because I feel like in my experience, TikTok, low views, even though I used to have a lot of views.
Right.
Now on Instagram, it's like so many views. Like recently on a video, I got 1 million views, which is crazy. Like for Instagram, it's pretty wild. Like for Instagram, and then YouTube, it will fluctuate. So I feel like, like you're right. They do give us all these platforms, but it's like they always fluctuate. They do their
they
own
want
thing.
something for us, just say it. You want us to pay $1, $2, whatever,
That's
just
what
say
they want.
it,
They want you to spend money,
just say it, and you want this amount, there's a premium price, but don't, it's like a guessing game, or you're there
it is like a
trying
guessing
to,
game.
the algorithm sucks.
Or they switch
And
it
they
up
change.
every 2 seconds.
Yeah, for sure.
So it's like, even when they say, oh, you got to, when they, when you create content and your hashtags have to be a certain, like, what, it doesn't work, whatever, I'm just putting that, I'm not even caring anymore. I'm not even caring. You know how people, they were very like, well, you have to post
like
at this time, at certain days, or this, who has time? I don't care. No, like if I have something, I want to post it, and that's it. I'm not worried about anything else.
I think that's what makes us, like, it's so much harder doing it alone, right? Doing it alone as a one-man team, but we pick up each other where we where one lacks, right? Like she really good at the editing, the creative direction, the sound and everything like that. But then me, my skill is the marketing aspect of things,
and the ideas.
And the ideas of like what would go viral, like that type of content. That's where I come in, and I think together we've been able to create this team where it just kind of works. It works.
But it works also the content that you do, like we were talking about before. Everybody, no matter what they say, just likes to be nosy, and people like to talk about people, and it's a thing. It's a way of life. That's the way society is, and that's what when they say is bad attention or good attention is still attention, so
she agrees with that, but I don't like that all the time. Which is interesting.
But it is.
It's true.
That's what happens.
It is true, but I hate the whole bad publicity is still good publicity. No.
How else can you look at it?
Right.
How it's like this is such a different analogy, but let me just. It's like my parrot, right? My macaw. She'll scream out of nowhere, and she waits. She'll scream again. Nobody's listening. She'll scream. She just keeps doing it until you actually go up to her and you yell at her, and then she like goes away and hides. She's doing that. She got the attention she wanted. She doesn't care if it was bad, negative attention. Because I go over and I yell at her, and I almost fist fight with her,
That's crazy.
It's just like, it's negative attention, but she doesn't care. It's still attention. And she got the attention how she wanted it, and she screamed her head off until I yelled at her, and she got her attention. It wasn't positive reinforcement.
Right, no, definitely not. It's funny that you say that, because some people, like I've gotten blocked from some of the baddies because I've criticized them publicly online. And
you were nice.
I was being very nice.
Like
I wasn't
other
even being
people
rude.
that dog them.
But it's funny because everybody was like, our followers were like, "Oh, it's good. At least she acknowledged you." And I'm like,
no,
I don't care about that
right.
shit.
Sure.
Like I don't want that type of attention. I would actually rather her fucking unblock me so I can report on her. But
what, they blocked you?
Yeah, she blocked me.
So who is this?
This is
Anna
her name is Anna Mac.
Anna Mac.
Yeah,
And
she's in the public already.
She's a
So
baddie.
And she blocked you.
Yeah, she blocked.
Yeah.
But I would be like,
And she blocked the petty headquarters.
And she blocked the petty headquarters.
Then you should take that
You
feel
see?
proud.
Yeah,
about
but
that.
you see-
I'd be like, I must be important that you block me, because it takes a lot.
wait.
It takes work to go into Instagram, to on the page, you have to go in settings, you have to go on block, and so that took a lot of time and a lot of effort. So I must have been worth all that work.
That is too funny.
That's interesting that you say that when in the beginning, you know, you were talking about how you don't like the negativity and all that stuff.
Right.
And now you're like, yeah, you blocked me, so that's good.
Well, but that's what I'm saying.
In regards to negative attention, right.
Good attention, bad attention is still
Okay.
attention, right? So if you're going to do something like you guys are doing, so then just do what you do.
That's
you know,
kind
you'll
of-
get the, you know.
That's kind of what we have to embrace.
Right.
There's a lot of where there's good, there's that negative.
Absolutely,
You know,
absolutely. And you do it in good taste, right?
For sure, for sure.
Always.
All right, so what we're going to do now is you're going to take a quick commercial break, and when we come back, we're going to continue talking with the Petty Headquarters. Yay.
All right. Is everybody having a good time tonight or what? That's what I thought.
I don't wanna come back down from this town, this town, this town, this town, this town, this town.
Hey guys, so I wanted to take you back to when I drove around the entire island of Puerto Rico in 9 days. First, starting out in San Juan, of course, I spent a few days exploring all of the north side of the island, which includes my trip to Arecibo, where I got to see the unfinished Christopher Columbus statue. There was like some type of argument over the land or whatever, but anyways, we checked out and drove to Ceiba, which is located on the east coast of the island, hopped on a ferry and explored the island of Vieques. And when I tell you that this entire island is full of wild horses, I mean it. They were legit everywhere. Then we hopped back on the ferry and headed south of the island, where I went urban exploring in Salinas and then drove to Ponce. Now, the dogs in Ponce? The dogs in Ponce were hungry, so I gave them half my eaten Cuban sandwich I had for breakfast. But yeah. Then I drove up the west coast, which had the most beautiful sunset, drove through Maya West, and stopped in Aguadilla. And let me tell you something, Aguadilla was gorgeous. And of course, you know I had to visit La Casa de Colores. But for the remainder of the trip, I explored the northwest of the island. One thing I learned about Puerto Rico was that it had so many hidden gems that it's literally impossible to see everything in one trip. But I guess that's a reason to come back.
And welcome back. I am here with my special guest in the house, Jesse and Tiana from the Petty Headquarters. Woo! So we've been having a lot of fun, just catching up on everything that we're doing with the podcast. I love it. And I especially love that video that we just saw.
I knew you would.
I would have cried.
I knew you
You know, that is the motherland,
Yup.
you know? How was that experience? I mean, it looks amazing. I mean, I felt like a tourist myself, like that wants to go there, like not even knowing that I go there, but I just want to go by your video. Is that something that you're like doing, like blogging across the globe?
No, but
No.
I mean, it's something I
That
enjoy.
would have been nice, right?
I mean, it would be nice one day, like, you know, branching off. Like, it would be nice to have a, you know, a sponsored, trip one day.
How cool would that be, right?
That'd be
They
fire.
just pay you to go, you know.
Create content.
Right.
Anybody out there knows anybody?
Hey,
Anybody?
I got it. I got cameras.
Yes, we have. Yes, and I go in tow. I'll be in the back. I'll do what she's doing behind the scenes. I'll do behind the scenes you, and then she can come and she can do behind the scenes of me.
behind the
Okay. We're all going. So anybody knows anybody who can sponsor us to go on these trips? Ooh, and I would love
That would
it.
be fire.
So you did this, and are you gonna like do this somewhere else?
It's so funny because so many people were like, "Oh my God, you make me want to go to Puerto Rico." I gotta give it to you because she stood by my crazy antics. It was for my 30th birthday, and I wanted to travel.
You didn't want to go to Puerto Rico?
No, I did.
Okay.
I did. It's just that, you know, when she goes on vacation, you don't. It's just a constant. It feels like backpacking.
Yeah.
Instead of feeling like vacation. So it's
see.
you know, it's nice to do like the hikes and stuff, you know, for a bit, but like she doesn't know when to stop. So it's like you're constantly on the go.
Yeah.
When you want to just chill and relax sometimes, you know, and probably
gonna
take
have to
cute pictures.
We're gonna have to
and I don't get
separate
that.
these little excursions
Yeah.
to like, well,
like-
this is gonna be for blogging and to hiking and to the, and then
Right.
this time will be just so we
Vacation.
could be on the beach with the pina coladas.
Right. That's the vibe.
I feel. Well, you know what? So now next time you have to do another trip.
That's
right?
what it is. So the
And
next
then-
trip is very vacation.
Yes.
It's very
I
chill.
know you're gonna pick up the camera and
I'm
still.
still gonna make the best of it. She be sleeping in the hotel. I be leaving.
Oh my
I be leaving.
Oh my God!
But yeah.
Well, that's great. I'm so happy when I saw that. So here on the show, I do a little something that's called "What Now." Okay.
Okay.
What now? Why? Because you know, there's always something going on, right? Something's always trending. Something's always, society always creates these things. So I say, you know what? What now? What's happening now? So we're gonna go straight into it, and let's go straight into our first one. There you go. Speaking of, alrighty.
Good.
So this is really shocking to a lot of people. Not to a lot, like to me, like just the way that this has just blown out of proportion. Since what, this morning, right? Didn't this happened this morning?
What did you say it was like? It was like watching a movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the
This
news
mor-
came out this morning that his home was raided, right?
Yes.
Yeah. This morning.
And then from there, it was just like now
Back
it's
to
like
back
the
to back
FBI.
to back,
Now
yeah.
it shows in their home and how
Yeah.
it was raided, and then how they arrested the kids.
Yeah.
And how
He's pacing back and forth in
Yeah.
Miami.
you saw that,
Yeah.
right? I saw that too. So now he know he was gonna get raided,
Yeah,
and then
yeah,
now
yeah.
all these other people with and like put that up again, Bobby. It was now the producer that was that's suing him over
Lil Rod, yeah.
Yeah. Now it's accusing Cuba Gooding Jr. of sexual assault on Diddy's yacht.
Yeah.
Like, and here I am, wait. And I'm like, no, it can't be. Bobby, show that picture of Cuba. Me and Cuba.
Oh my
see?
God!
I'm
That
like,
is crazy.
He was so sweet, and I was hanging out with him, and then I was like, oh no, it can't be. No, So I thought that was funny when I put that
How
together.
does that make you feel?
Right.
How does that make you feel seeing that?
Well, first of all, it makes me sad just to, when you know of these people, like kind of like you grew up with, like admiring,
Right.
or you grew up like idolizing, like and especially like P. Diddy, like you kind of like grew up with him and his
Yep.
music and the Bad Boys and the whole, the whole Biggie Smalls. It's like, no, it makes you think twice about what really happened.
Everything.
It's just like, oh my God, you don't know what to think now. And like,
And that's kind of what we do on the podcast, because we spend time deep diving into these people that we idolize. And basically what you take from mostly every episode is you got to really think about who you're idolizing. These people are just messed
you
up.
don't know.
Yeah,
like,
they're
look at that. How do
strangers.
you
They're
know?
strangers, right.
Right. Like, you don't know. So
yeah, very
it's like
true.
some people will take it as like, well, what you don't know don't hurt, or, well, I'm not sleeping with that person. I don't care. I just care for the
Right.
movies. What, some
They
people
ignore it.
don't. But I really didn't, even when the whole Epstein thing came out.
Crazy.
Like, did you, it's like I have like my son. He'll start talking deep into the Matrix, He's one of those, and you don't know what's coming, Mom. You just have no idea. You just wait. You're not aware. Like you just, he's so in tune with what's coming and what's going. But now you see this, and I feel like, wow, like I grew up in his music, so yeah, it kind of like, it hits a nerve, that every day now there's somebody new, and then next thing is gonna be this one, that one, and you're gonna be like, what, like everybody around you. Now it's gonna be my neighbors, and it's gonna be like this, you know, it's like you know. So
I mean, there was the neighbor serial killer that was like down the block. So even in normal life,
like, you don't even know. You don't know. That's why I don't talk to nobody. Don't talk to me. I don't want no friends.
Right? No new friends. No new friends.
What's the next one? Okay, so.
Oh, I saw this.
I'm over her.
All right. Hold on. Wait.
I'm over her.
Right. Why are they still in the news?
Is he gonna play you? Like,
but why are they still? Why is it?
Because they're the Kardashians.
But wait, first of all, he's mad ugly.
He's mad ugly.
Like I don't understand. Like what is it?
He's hella ugly.
Like what is it that?
What she sees?
What?
I just feel like, I don't know. Like Chloe's low key dumb though. Like she just keeps letting this happen over and over and over.
But to the same guy that's not even cute. Like you're not even cute. You got money, so it's not like you're after his money.
That's true.
You know, like what?
Maybe it's what he's packing. Who knows?
Gee, really? Does it take you that far?
Maybe.
Like
maybe for her.
Sometimes.
Maybe for some women it matters.
Well,
I don't
some
know.
women with heavy insecurities. Because you're only settling for that type of behavior if you're insecure as hell. No?
No, yeah, it's true.
I mean, that's really what it is.
I mean, it's
if
Khloe
you loved
Kardashian
yourself,
we're
you
talking
wouldn't
about.
settle for that type of man, like who plays too much.
I just don't get it, and they just keep, I don't know. But anyway, I think that was very like he said it himself. He's like, after 30 days, how can you forget somebody after meeting them for 30 days?
Some dumbass thing to
like,
say.
What? Like I thought it was like love at first sight.
I just want to know why these people come out and say these things. Like, what's the point? Like, is this for attention? You want Chloe to hit you up? Like, I don't get it. Like,
good attention or bad attention is still attention.
That's what it is. He wants Chloe to hit him up so bad.
Once they start slipping from the, headlines.
That's true.
And they're getting, no talk, that they got to come up with something to be talked about again.
That's very true.
Oh, Jesus Christ. And I think do we have one more? We have one more? Okay.
Oh, yeah.
So
I saw that too.
What what do you expect? What did he expect? Like, what do you expect? First of all, that is definitely one probably of my biggest disappointments.
Really?
Absolutely. I loved his characters way back when, Prince of Bel-Air.
Yeah.
And then from there, follow him through all his amazing movies.
Yeah.
I was a fanatic watching his movies, and I enjoyed it. And I think he's funny, and and even when it came out with whatever was going on with Jada and him, the marital whatever,
right,
it didn't faze me. Like I said, everybody to each his own. Everybody does whatever works for them. What works for them might not work for you.
True.
They're together that long for a reason. I didn't care. But when that incident happened, I looked at him so totally different. Like the love that I had for him just...
Was it because he acted out of character, or was it because where he acted out of character?
It was uncalled for in total. It was not necessary. It wasn't, you weren't caught in the heat of the moment where you're right in front of me and you said something and I felt the rage. I was like, what?
He took the time to
you know what I'm saying? Like, you thought your thought process was already like.
He thought he ate.
You thought like.
Yeah, that was going to do something and it didn't do anything.
That to me was like, that was uncalled for, and I think that was no class whatsoever. And I lost it for him. And so if I lost it for him, how do you think all these,
I think it's more than that, though. I feel like that's the easy thing to say, that it was the slap, but it's also his wife's book. His wife doesn't do a good job at preserving that reputation that he once had. Once she started talking with the red table talk and putting the book, she kind of made him look weak.
But so he did that because that was gonna make him tougher now.
But
Let me go slap
you have to think about it like from his perspective, especially as a man. Like your wife is constantly telling you she misses Tupac, and then the book, and then the red table talk.
So he took it out. He took it out on
no,
a
but
poor
then
guy
but then also it's like he wants to probably be more of a man for his wife, and like Chris Rock made a joke about her. He probably felt like, you know what, this is my moment to shine, and did that.
What a way to
and
shine!
Like,
I mean, really.
I mean,
like that was that was the stupidest way to shine.
Yeah.
You totally like you basically messed up your image on your own. It doesn't matter who anybody else was talking,
This is true.
because anybody can talk shit about you, right?
Right.
But if you keep you keep to yourself, you know who you are, and you continue being that person, and people are still gonna follow you. And because rumors are rumors, people can say whatever they want to say. But when you actually act it out, now you're actually proving, right?
That you are that, yeah.
That you're like so now you're surprised that you're losing.
Why is it that someone like that? Why do they always have to be the bigger person? Is it because that's just in their character? Because he's human, right? Humans get mad. So
you get mad, but not like that.
I get
you know
it, but
what?
I feel like that's the first time he
Let me just go up in like the biggest,
right?
The biggest events, okay, where people in their gowns and tuxedos and it's an award ceremony. And
it's a terrible place.
Right.
Yeah, there's
like,
a time
that's
and a
what
place.
I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like you made us lose respect for you.
Agreed.
Like
there was
that's
a time and place for sure.
Exactly. So that's my point there. So is that it for our what now? All right. So there you go.
That is so funny. Yeah. No, I definitely feel like he and you what you said in regards to ignoring the rumors and ignoring the noise, it takes somebody who's mentally strong to do that. Now, if you haven't dealt with your issues and now it's being criticized publicly, and then your wife is publicizing more of your what's going on behind closed doors, and you're not mentally strong, that's what the result is.
Like you said,
That's the result.
he needed to prove himself. He thought that this was the way to prove to her, and he totally did it wrong, because nobody took that as like.
No, it made it worse.
Like, so look at now. So now you want to know why. But you know what? So stuff like this
is what
you take it back
to
onto
the petty. Yeah, it's perfect, because it's literally what we do. Yeah, and we try.
So what now? You're doing this. It hasn't even been a long time either that you've been doing this.
Yeah,
and
we launched in August.
Yeah,
it hasn't been long, and already you've gained that popularity, and you've gained. What do you like? What are your hopes from here on? Like, what do you like? Are you sitting back just saying, "I'm doing this because I love to do it, and I'm going to continue doing it," or I'm striving for
something bigger?
Yeah,
for sure. We would love to have what kind of like a setup like here. Have a bigger studio, have somebody, a third person, to be able to make it a business. And that's obviously long-term stuff, but we want to just keep upgrading the production. We pride ourselves in quality in the production.
Which clearly shows.
We want to expand more in the podcast realm.
Yeah. That's one of the things that we're working on right now, is to just expand in the audio world, because the audio world is very different. Like, visuals and YouTube, like, we're doing great. But like audio, we're still doing great for like new, right?
We had like our first 5,000 downloads.
Oh yeah, so we reached
5,000
downloads for a podcast that hasn't even been out for a year. So that's pretty great for
absolutely.
new. We're still
So what do you
new.
do? Are you like hashtagging other shows, or like what do you do that your audience
So I feel like for us, it's mostly the marketing. I feel like, I feel like my TikTok helps a lot as well. And also just like the demographic that I have already built, and how we talk about certain things with pop culture. Right. My audience is already like in tune with that. So it's kind of like, okay, they'll tune in, you know what I mean? Yeah. But also, we do little street style, like, street style interviews as well.
It's a it's another way to market.
We have like different marketing techniques.
We have our business cards where we'll, we'll hand them out or whatever after an interview, and we just ask questions in regards to pop culture. Like, Diddy, do you think Diddy did it? Like, something like that.
And we'll do that. Did he do
it? But that's kind of, which is why it would be great if we had somebody to pick us up, because we're kind of already doing it on our own.
Yeah, we're doing what the networks are already doing.
Right.
Like, we're literally doing all of it. Networking, just a bigger reach marketing. Is what we need. Right. Yeah. We have the studio, you know what I mean?
So you're doing that, obviously you're doing this right now for you and all that, but if somebody comes off and says, I love your style, I love what you're doing, whatever, I would like to do something, can you help me, or would you be behind it? Would you be up to creating that kind of business for other people as well, or you just like
I feel like that's going to be like a long-term thing. Like, we would have to be like more established to think about stuff like that, because then thinking about that, you're going into kind of like starting your own that sounds like starting your own network type of thing. Okay. Because if someone's going to come to us like, oh, can you help my podcast with this, that, and the third, That's a podcast network right there. That's what they do. They help you with the editing. They help you with the marketing. They help you with putting it out. They help you with building your audience. So I feel like that's something that's like a really like long-term thing. Like we would have to be more established and then probably start little by little. And then, yeah, I mean, I don't know, who knows? Maybe one day we could become our own podcast network. I don't know.
There you go. Yeah. That's an idea, right?
No, it's definitely the goal. It'd be nice to like, be at, they have podcast conventions or like kind of like what they do for music festivals where you'll have a time slot for your podcast.
Okay.
And that would be great. We went to a convention where they shot live podcasts, and I thought it would be great to bring our audience because they didn't have that there. I think we can bring something different.
Conventions?
Yeah. So that like they were doing like Dungeons and Dragons, documentary style, history style. I feel like we're not just people sitting in front of the camera. We're very structured, and we bring more than. I want you to leave the podcast. We want you to leave the podcast with some type of knowledge, whether it's a perspective, psychological perspective, maybe something. It's not just gossip.
It's just like Okay.
So I feel like with that in mind, we can bring something to one of those conventions. That would be a goal.
Yeah, I feel like when people hear the name, the Petty Headquarters, they automatically think, oh, y'all being petty, some crazy shit. Y'all are talking mess, But no, I feel like what we talk about is messy and problematic, right? But I feel like the way we deep dive into it and dissect it, it's very different. I feel like we humanize these people that we're talking about, which I feel like social media and the world, they don't do. People like just eat negativity up so much that they're just so quick to just say something negative.
They're too busy arguing in the comments that there's no room for discussion.
Right. We have discussions.
We have discussions.
So when you have arguments like that, do you just like get in on the argument too? It's like, well, now let them, that's the podcast itself right there, like them arguing on the.
There are episodes
it's like,
where
stop it, children, stop. Okay, can we talk now? Like you gotta stop it. Like no more arguing on.
No, there are podcasts where they'll go back and forth and leave long paragraphs, and I love that because listen, every perspective I'm down to hear. What are we without hearing everybody's perspective? And then, we have the conversation. And like I said, this is what we say all the time on the podcast. We do the hard work, but without our audience, there'd be no discussion.
Right.
Okay. And that's basically, what the podcast is.
Well, listen, I have to tell you that I love it. I'm very proud.
Thank you.
And I also have to give you your props from your weight loss journey.
Yes, ma'am.
That is something to be extremely proud of.
Thank you very much.
Not everybody can do what you do because I have trouble. 20 years to lose 5 pounds.
Girl,
I can't even lose 5 pounds to save my life.
I feel you.
It's and that's probably one of the biggest topics of all time is a weight loss journey for anybody and the whole. And
I quit alcohol. Oh, Jesus Christ, damn it. And that's a big contributor to that. See that? That's the first. Every time people hear I quit alcohol, they do that.
When we're losing those pounds. God damn it!
3
Why do you have to
years.
say that? No, I do know that that's one of the. I mean.
Look.
I try to put down that. You know what my problem is when it comes to alcohol? I'm not a hard liquor drinker.
Okay.
But I do indulge in like the sugary ones.
The one sugary.
The sugary ones, or the ones that have like lots of calories. And, Like I love like the chocolate martinis and
espresso martinis.
Espresso martinis.
Hell yeah. I feel you. Trust me.
I have to live life.
I feel you.
All right, maybe I'll cut down on just not eating at all.
See, that's why I go do these crazy things, because I can't drink no more. The energy got to go somewhere.
Well, that's amazing. But I just want to say congratulations on that.
Thank you. No,
so, this is what happens. We're almost running out of time.
No,
because
it just goes so fast.
Right? Well, isn't that motto, time flies when you're having fun, right?
This is true.
But before we leave, why don't you let everybody know, like, what are your handles, where they can reach you at, where can they watch you, yeah, let them know.
You guys can find me on Instagram. That's JESSI.strange. And where can they find you, Tiana?
And you guys can find me on Instagram at Randomania1. You guys can find the podcast on Instagram at the Petty Headquarters. And we're on all podcast platforms, Spotify, Apple, iHeartRadio, all those good things.
Yes.
And if you guys want to watch visual versions of the podcast, YouTube, Petty Sim Productions, but just type in the Petty Headquarters. We'll pop up.
Yeah, definitely.
So it's very simple.
Every Tuesday, 4
4
p.m.
p.m.
Oh
Yes.
my God, Tuesdays is so popular.
It is, I know. It's hot. So
Yeah.
after the Petty Headquarters, tune in at 10 p.m. to Could Be You
Yes,
TV.
Could Be You TV. Well, it was a pleasure to have you on. Oh my God, I can't wait to see what the future brings.
Thank you, Linda.
And
Appreciate
I wish you all the best in your future endeavors.
Thank
I
you.
want to be involved in everything. You got to come back each time and update me and everything, because that's what I do. I love to hear it all.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah,
I really
absolutely. So
appreciate it.
thank you for sharing, and thank you, and everybody, thank you so much for joining us. I love you guys. Bobby, we're gonna play that video, okay? Your favorite inspirational video. Guys, thank you so much for joining me tonight. Remember that we are still, you can watch the show on Facebook, on YouTube, and we are on Twitter. No, not Twitter. X, formerly known as Twitter. And don't forget, Saturday morning at 10 a.m., channel 115 Optimum. We are, so everybody can go and watch it. There's no excuse as you're not watching the show. But I love you all. Lo quiero mucho. I'll see you next time. Same place. Adios. To all the people having birthdays, let's be grateful, right? Let's be grateful that we have another birthday to celebrate, enjoy life. I don't know about you, but I love life. And I love my life. And everyone has their ups and downs. Life is not perfect. It's what you make of it. And I want to live. I want to live every day. I want to see beautiful things. I thank God every time I wake up each morning. My mom always instilled in me, when you wake up in the morning, the first thing you do is just thank God for giving you that gift to open up your eyes and to see the world and to see, I'm going to fight for my life. I'm not ever going to put my life in danger because I love life.